Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum, class 8. I hope all of you are fine by the grace of Allah Almighty and having good health. Today we are going to start unit number 4, that is conflict. And conflict means difference of opinion. It means the parties under discussion have different point of views. So in this unit we are going to read out different conflicts, and the first chapter we are going to read is war is a bad taste business. In this chapter we are going to read about the war that was continued in 1994 in Bosnia Herzegovina. Sarajevo is the capital of Bosnia and Santisi is a town in Bosnia. And this chapter is taken from a news report written by Martin Bell. And Martin Bell was a famous news reporter. He worked for almost 80 countries, and he worked for 80 countries including 11 wars. Of all those wars, he has been mostly deeply affected by his experiences of civil war in Bosnia, which involved rival groups of Muslim Croats and Serbs. In this chapter, we will read about the feelings about filming and reporting on war for television by Martin Bell. Now, come towards the reading. It was January 1994 at the height of fighting between Muslims and Croats, and we had access to the most extraordinary images of frontline combat that I have ever seen. Fighting Croats are the inhabitants or native of Croatia. To be honest, to be honest, we did very little of this ourselves. It was done for us by Kresimir, a gentle soul and professional musician who carried a camera on our behalf. Though he would accept no payment, his motive was that he wanted the world to know what was happening to his people. The result was a series of images of raw power and great impact. Winter warfare. Warfare means battlefield in a landscape of barbed wire and trenches and bunkers. Bunkers are the vehicles used in war. An advancing infantryman. An infantryman actually are the soldiers uh, who fight with the opposite party alone by walking. They have no vehicles for fighting. Hit and killed in the snow under the eye of camera, and street fighting in the ruins of Santisi. Ruins, debris, damages. His pictures were what is known in the trades bang bang. Bang bang is the term used for war reporters or war photographers who take images in the center of the conflict, so close to the action, indeed part of the action, though that no news editor would think of dropping them from his program in their raw form. The rushes they showed, the cost as well as the courage that this kind of combat ex- exacts. The rushes mean unedited images. So, in this paragraph, it is told us that the war was continued in 1994, and Martin Bell was picturing or clicking the pictures of the different scenes of the war, and he is telling us that he did not do much for this, because Krasimir has done this voluntarily because he wanted to show the world what is happening around the world. So here in this paragraph it is also told us they were also able to capture the pictures of an infantryman who were killed by the bunkers. As the Croats advanced, they recaptured a house where a dozen of their comrades mean fellows from our companions in arms being surprised and their position overrun mean damaged, destroyed in the first assault mean attack. then executed. Their bodies were found stacked in a room and bound together with wire. Casimir's coverage showed to that too, and the grief means sorrow, sadness of the mothers and wives when they found their worst fears confirmed mean assured. These images fell foul of the good taste guideline. Good taste guideline actually is not related to the food. It describes someone's opinion, style, or behavior of writing, or it means that to show the good aspects of something and not those aspects which make the people which make the people offend. Ad that was left in them was the bang apparently mean as it seems heroic pictures of the camouflage clad mean dressed figures mean personalities blazing away amid mean in the center the ruins, and even the ruins seemed picturesque 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 mean beautiful being sunlit means sunlight at this season against tile snow. It was about as close as to reality as a Hollywood action movie. Indeed, at times, fact imitated mean copy. Fiction, one of the Croats' warlords mean commander in aggressive form, would dash out of the cover and fire both his weapons on the move, revolver in one hand and the submachine gun in the other, in the best Hollywood manner. In this paragraph, it is told us that when the Croats moved towards the house where their companions already positioned, but when they entered they were surprised because they were killed and they were stacked by a wire, and the news report showed the grief of the mothers and the wives which they were expecting after the damages or after the killing of their loved ones. In this paragraph, it is also told us that the ruins were captured beautifully, and there was no one left, only the cameraman who was picturing the scenes beautifully. And in this paragraph, it is also told us that it was presented like an action movie, and as a Hollywood hero came on the screen and hit his opposite party. So in this way, this scene is captured. What was missing in all this and in our report of it was a sense of the human price being paid, the irredeemable. Irredeemable mean and unable to save. Waste of young lives. I am a furious means strong BBC loyalist. Loyalist mean committed. It is a force for truth and freedom in the world, but it did seem to me and still does that in this case, in our anxiety not to offend and upset the people, we were not only sanitizing mean cleaning war, but even prettifying it as if it were an acceptable way of settling dispute, and its victim never bled to death but rather expired gracefully out of sight. But war is real, and war is terrible. War is a bad taste business. Television by its very nature has an aptitude for illusion mean deception. Anyway, reality is somehow diminished, mean lessened by being framed in the modest rectangle in the corner of the living room. Images from the front line especially lose something in the transfer and take on the quality almost of a travel program. So in this paragraph, it is also told us that the news reporter Martin Bell was a committed reporter of the BBC. So he said that we were forced to present those things on the screen which were acceptable for the people and not those which can offend the people. So in this way they were presenting the scenes from the war in a very decent and in a very decent way, just not to make the people annoyed. So here he told us that there is a difference in capturing the scenes and presenting on the TV, so there is a conflict. So often in the course of this war, Herod had been harassed, terrified by our imminent mean at hand deadline. I would rush from the battlefield to cutting room, often a journey of only a few hundred yards, clutching my field cases with a survivor's pride, eager to get at them. Then, having viewed them, I would ask myself, is that reality? Is that reality? All there was that it something was missing, something that will always be missing in the compressed world of the tube. So in this paragraph, it is told us I have to often move to the cutting room just to meet my deadline, and then I asked question for myself: am I going to present the reality? Is it reality which I'm going to present? So in this way, we will complete the reading. Now come towards the words meaning. Croats, a native or inhabitant of Croatia, combat fighting. Comrade mean companion, friend. Clad mean dressed. Amid in the middle of. Picturesque mean beautiful, pretty. Imitated mean copy. Warlord, a military commander. Irredeemable mean not able to be saved. Furious mean displaying an intense aggressiveness. Sanitizing mean cleaning. Illusion mean misapprehension. Imminent mean at hand. Harried mean harassed. Exaggerating mean overemphasized. Now come towards question answers. First question is, who was Krasimir and why did he do the work that he did? Krasimir was a professional musician, and he was doing the that work, or he was capturing the scene just to present the world what was happening, what was happening around the world. So he was doing all this free of cost voluntarily. Why did his images have such a great impact? His images have such a great impact because he captured the scene so closely, and he was able to capture the infantrymen and the bunkers in reality, and he was able to present them well. In which ways does Bell think that the reality of what was filmed contrast with what was shown on television? Um, the news reporter Martin Bell told us that actually they captured the scene. They were able to capture the scene very closely, and they were able to capture the scene of infantrymen and the soldiers in action, like a Hollywood hero. But when they have to present them on the screen, they have to censor the unwanted things. So in this way, there is a contrast. What did Bell